I'm waiting for my lighting to set up. Hey guys, it's Lainey. Before we get started, just want you guys to know that I am 2 jumbo margaritas and 1 tequila shot in, and I'm ready to film. Today, we're doing a spoiler review of Allegiant by Veronica Roth. I actually just finished reading this book. Just kidding, I read this back in May. The wounds of this book are still so salty that I have carried this burden of this awful book with me from May to now the end of September, early October. This is a spoiler review because I'll be talking about everything in this book. Another thing, if you don't know anything about me, is that I absolutely hate this book. Really hate it. If you really like this book and you're watching this, you're not going to want to watch this. I'm putting Allegiant on blast. Mostly, this is going to be funny because I'm a little bit drunk. On the flip side, I'm still going to get my feelings out. Kind of a win-win situation, am I right? Last October, when this book was released. Still remember the day, October 22nd. Monica and I decide to go to Barnes & Noble, opening day. I read Divergent and Insurgent on my Kindle. I fucking loved Divergent so much. We get to Barnes & Noble and I'm expecting just to walk away with this thing. But then I was thinking to myself, I'm gonna have Allegiant, the only one in physical copy. That doesn't make any sense to me. I need the other 2 in physical copy. What does my dumbass buy? The entire box set of Allegiant or Divergent. Full price at Barnes & Noble. Looking back in retrospect, I want to hit past Lainey because what was she thinking? Now that I've read this book, this one, I hate that I bought this in physical copy because I hated it. For some reason I didn't read this until May of 2014. Let's just start, I guess. I was already spoiled going in. I know this dumb bitch was gonna die. I was pissed. But not as pissed as I was when I read it. I'm sorry, but why did Tori have to die? Tori was, besides Eric, my favorite character. She just dies out of nowhere. Literally, out of nowhere. I was very confused by that. And then I thought, is Maggie Q really gonna reprise her role for basically 5 minutes before she's killed off? Third thing I had a problem with. The explanation of what divergency meant. I felt like it was a cop-out. I really hope I'm not the only one that thought the genetic deficiency genes was an acceptable explanation of what divergent was. Triss is a genetically pure human, but everybody else is damaged. I feel like I was expecting something amazing to be explained, what it was to be divergent, and I was let down incredibly. Such a fan of the first book that this explanation was so disappointing and such a letdown. Of a fan of the book, I was pretty much done. If I wasn't done when Tori died, I was done then. Fourth thing wrong with this book was, I was about to say Theo. 4. First, his name, Tobias, is an awful name. 4 isn't really divergent. That was why he connected with Triss such amazingly in the books. He wasn't even divergent. I don't even know how to express how much I hated that in the book. He was supposed to be divergent with her. They were supposed to be divergent together and change the world. And then he ends up... Did it even make sense that he had a gene that he was allowed to be aware that he was under simulation? That makes no sense. No sense. No sense. Fifth thing wrong that I found with this book was that there was other divergent towns across the United States. I don't know why that bothered me, but it did. I don't know what I was expecting beyond the defense, to be honest, but I was expecting something a lot cooler than other experiments. The fact that this was an experiment pissed me off as well. One choice can destroy you, one choice can kill you, and that's what Tris did. Sixth thing wrong with this book. Did they even have sex? I don't know. That scene was completely confusing. I knew it was their goodbye because I knew she was gonna die. I couldn't understand if they made a connection, that kind of connection. I couldn't tell. The seventh thing wrong with this was the fact that, I'm sorry, but someone cannot write two point of views in the story. There were many times that I was reading this, and I had to flip back to the front chapter to realize whose perspective I was reading. Tobias, horrible name, sounded suspiciously exactly like Tris. I couldn't tell the difference between the two. That was not a very good narrative. Can't tell the difference between the two characters. Eighth thing wrong with this book was the fact that our heroine died. I know some people really liked that. I didn't. We journeyed with Tris through this story. For her to die at the end felt very disappointing. Why did I read those two books that were about you only for you to die? I'm reading your journey for you to overcome these things and have a better life in the future. Not for you to have a better life briefly for 3 months before you die. My main problem with her dying was the fact that I felt there was no reason for her to die. She hated Caleb, but suddenly she gave her life for Caleb. I just did not understand why she saved her brother that betrayed her in the second book. She's dumb. For real, she's dumb. And I don't care if you're my brother, if you're my sister, if you're my friend, if you betray me, I'm not gonna risk my life for you. I'm not gonna give my life for you who screwed me earlier on. The ninth thing wrong with this book was the epilogue. They waited first for what felt like 20 fucking years to disperse her ashes. He ends up facing his fear of heights, spreads her ashes out behind him as he flies down the zip line. I know a lot of people liked that. I didn't. I found that to be incredibly stupid. I don't know why they waited so long, 3 years, to spread her ashes out. At that point, I was like, this heroine I'm supposed to champion behind, Tris, has been reduced to ashes. She doesn't even have a body anymore. Literally ashes. Ashes in an urn. How can Tris, from this book, who I fell in love with, end up being in ashes, literally ashes in this book? That just pissed me off beyond belief. I can't even... What frustrates me most about this series is that I have so much love for this book that I hate that it ended the way it did in this book. Why? Do not even get me started on the fact that Allegiant is being split up into 2 fucking movies. Why? Do the producers not know that nothing happens in this book? Why are they splitting it up into 2 movies when nothing happens this entire fucking book? Nothing happens besides the fact that she dies at the end. I'm very interested to see how they plan to do this movie. Nothing happens in the first half. Nothing happens in the second half. I'm gonna pretend that Allegiant never existed. And you know what? That is my Allegiant review. Hope you guys all have a great day. I'm gonna see you guys later. As you know, one of my favorite books of 2013. I'm going to share it to shreds. I just tripped running up the stairs. Turn down for what? Do 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 do. No shame.